a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Hey, welcome. Mark Haye filling in for Brandon Rhymes today at the Consumer Quarterback Show. He's on vacation with his family, so good for him. And we got a full lineup today, and looking forward to talking to Jeff and Kim today from GTE. But first, we were going to take a look at, I think, of some properties.
Yeah, man. Let's see. We got available to you from the Platinum MVP team over at Keller Williams. First property we want to showcase is 4809 Portland Manor Drive in Newport Richey, Florida. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, just under 2,000 square feet. It's in a 55 and up community, the Heritage Club. You know, 55 and up, we're all going to get there eventually, so you got to have your little clubs that you hang out with, right? You got the front porch. It has a front porch swing, which is always amazing, always peaceful. You got hardwood floors, and it's flooded with much natural light. You got a kitchen with a tray ceiling, ceiling fans, large breakfast nook, and floor-to-ceiling windows, separate dining room. Lots of things going on here at 4809 Portland Manor Drive in Newport Richey, Florida. You can check that property out at platinumcoastalelite.com. Another property we'd like to showcase for you is 105 Lake Tarpon Drive. This is unit number 26 in Palm Harbor, Florida. It's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, just under 800 square feet, again in a 55 and up Lake Tarpon mobile home village. It needs a little bit of TLC. It's a possible tear down. What you're really looking at here, folks, is the property. We want to get the acreage here. You got a golf cart community that you're living on at Lake Tarpon. Really low HOA fees, $101 per month. The community has a pool, a clubhouse. You got a boat dock. We got golf, shuffleboard, bocce ball, which I've never played, but I hear people that are 55 and up love it. And you got a book club. Now that I am down with. So remember, 105 Lake Tarpon Drive, unit number 26 in Palm Harbor, Florida. And you can see all the properties available to you from the Platinum MVP team at platinumcoastalelite.com. Check them out, platinumcoastalelite.com. I'm going to kick it back over to Mark.
Thank you. Now, is that HOA right, $100 a month?
$100 a month, man.
Wow.
That's unbeatable.
Yeah, especially in Pinellas County.
No doubt.
That's awesome. So, well, welcome, GTE.
Thank you, Mark. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Tell us a little bit about GTE, what you guys do, and then we'll kind of go from there.
Awesome. Yeah, so my name is Jeff Minaya. I work with the credit union, and that's what GTE is. It's a credit union here in the Tampa Bay area. Hopefully a lot of the listeners are aware of us already, and if not, we're excited to make them aware of what GTE is about. We have 24 locations here in the Tampa Bay area. But more importantly, our focus on our philanthropy, our focus on giving back to our membership is what separates us from a lot of our competitors. And the topic we're talking about today is just one example of the many things that GTE can offer to the listeners of this show. Excellent.
And I think it was something about a medical professional program.
Yeah.
That you want to talk about.
Yeah. So our medical professional program, it's my favorite. It has so many benefits, and it services so much of the community between the medical professionals and the professionals. So it has great benefits to help get our buyers into homes that they don't necessarily think that they qualify, and it allows them to get in a home sooner than they think that they can.
Well, how do you guys get them in the home that maybe they can't? Like, what are you guys doing differently on that? What's the program?
Yeah, so the program allows for potentially no down payment, as little as 100% financing.
Wow.
So it's great that you don't have to save up those thousands of dollars to get into a home. Yep. And it also allows for no mortgage insurance, which is a huge help on the payment. So another thing with owning a home is that mortgage payment. Sometimes people are scared to get into that payment. This alleviates a little bit of that payment to allow it to be a little bit more affordable for the buyer. Or even they can potentially afford more of a home because they don't have that mortgage insurance.
Well, how do you qualify for a no money down? Like, what do you have to be to say, you don't have to put nothing down? Is it income threshold? What is it?
So there is no income cap on this program, which is really nice. No purchase area restriction. It's throughout the whole state of Florida. So how you qualify is really on your profession. Is the big factor in how to get into the program. So it's a medical professional program. Originally, we started it with just medical in the medical field, and it services a lot of the medical community. There's a lot of programs out there to service the medical community as well, but how GTE stands apart is we service so much more than just your doctors. doctors are great. We love our doctors in the community, but there's so many other people in the medical professional in the field that deserve these benefits as well, and that's where GTE stands apart. We service our nurses, we service veterinarians, we service ophthalmologists, and physical therapists. There's so much more. There's 27 medical professions that we service. So there's a huge chunk of the state of Florida that we're servicing to allow them to have as little as no money down with no mortgage insurance.
I have a question about that. What's the qualifying benchmark? Because I was a paramedic for 15 years, right? So does someone, I imagine they have to have X amount of time in service. It's not somebody just got their license yesterday and then they could apply and they get the program? Or?
Yeah, no, that's a great question.
So you just have to show a license? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we do want you to be licensed in the state of Florida for that program.
Okay.
And we'll pull up your license just to confirm that you have that.
Yep.
And let's say you just graduated yesterday. Great, that's awesome. Now you maybe just got a job offer from a company that you're wanting to work for, and you've accepted it. We'll take that job offer.
Wow. Okay.
So
you just have to have an active license. You got to be on the website and have an active license, and you're good to go.
Correct.
Do you have to hold a mortgage for a certain period of time?
No, there's no prepayment penalties. So if you buy the house, you live in it, and maybe you get a transfer and you want to move to a different town, that's perfectly fine.
Wow.
Is it only medical profession? Like, I'm a financial advisor, so if I say I want to go get a 0% down,
this is enticing.
Can I do it?
Yeah, so unfortunately you cannot. But the great part about that program is we just expanded it. So now we are including professionals as well. And with those professionals, it includes CPAs, it includes professional engineers.
Really?
So there's so much more if you have your PhD or DBA. So there's a lot of professions in that professionals group that we're now servicing as well, and that's brand new. And they're going to get the same benefits as those medical professionals.
So you have to have a CPA license. You can't have like a Series 6 or a financial license or a 215. It has to be CPA. You know?
It's a good try.
Man, that's
I don't blame
amazing
you for trying.
deal. I'd like to put nothing down and get a mortgage.
No doubt.
And no mortgage insurance. So
wow.
Yeah, I've seen mortgage insurance is $30 and I've seen it $700, $800 a month. So it's a huge savings.
Are you guys giving more a higher interest rate to do this, or is it the same? It's competitive?
No, it's a very, very competitive interest rate. So at a lot of times it's better. So we have to do situation by situation, but the interest rates are next to none in the market. We're always monitoring the rates in the area and making sure that we're staying very competitive.
Does it have to be primary, or can it be rental?
It has to be a primary residence. So this program the intention is we're trying to get people into homes. So it does have to be a primary residence. It doesn't have to be a first-time home buyer, though. It could be your 8th home. Doesn't matter. You just need to have sold your other home prior to closing.
Okay, so you can't own a home and then buy this and say that's my primary?
Right. You can't move out of your primary residence and say, oh, I'm going to rent that one. Let's get another one with no money down. The idea is to establish home ownership, and we don't want to.
Okay, so like first-time home buyer situation is
just not owning another home.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Right.
Okay. Wow, that's
still
a
good.
nice program.
Mm-hmm.
When are you going to expand it so I can do it?
I'll have to talk to the big guy.
What about black belt Liam over here? He wants to do it too.
I'll have to talk to the big guy and see what we can do.
Well, that's an awesome program.
Thank
you got
you.
anything else like that we need to know about? Because holy moly, that's like, I mean, everybody's looking for 0% down in anything.
I haven't heard of that actually available from a lot of other institutions. I mean, we've had other lenders on the show. Yeah. We've had, a lot of people mention like Hometown Heroes, right? But not this one specifically, though. So it's pretty cool.
But it could be physical therapy, nurse,
pharmacist,
doctor, pharmacist,
veterinarian,
farm tech,
just pharmacist, dentist, dental hygienist. The list goes on, and we have a full list on our website as well, gtefinancial.org.
Nice.
And in any doubt, obviously, please give me a call, and I could tell you is your profession on the list and go through, because like I said, there's 27 medical professions alone, not to mention the other professionals that we have on the list.
Do you have to be an account holder with GTE? Like, do I have to have a bank account?
Yeah, so not initially. You don't have to. We are open to the public, so you're welcome to join the credit union. And upon approval of the mortgage, we do want you to join the credit union. We will need you to do that. But we have all kinds of products and services. I can let Jeff talk on that a little bit.
Yeah, so... And if I can go back just one question ago, just referring to, hey, how do how do I take advantage of these perks too if I'm not in the medical profession? And the cool thing is that, yes, today we're focusing on the medical professional loan. But just like this one, GTE offers over 10 different products for home ownership. So maybe you don't qualify for this one, but we have 9 others that could fit that need a little bit better. And also wanted to add to this medical professional loan that I know you mentioned as, hey, I haven't really heard about a lot of financial institutions offering this product. And that's kind of one of the reasons why we wanted to put it out there. And then when we decided to put it out there to be able to accommodate this profession, these borrowers that work in these fields and have these situations that are unique to them, we did a lot of research with the few competitors that did offer it and found a way that stays between us, right?
Mm-hmm. And all our listeners.
And all of our listeners.
Yeah.
And found a way to say, how do we make ours a little bit more appealing, a little bit more beneficial to our members if they choose to do it with us. So if there was a company doing 95%, that's probably why we went 100%, right? And every single criteria in there, the loan to value, the DTI requirements, all those little things, we looked for ways to be able to separate ourselves in a good way for the borrowers. So just wanted to add that little bit there. And then to answer your question with the membership, yes, GTE is a full service credit union. So by becoming a member and having your home through us, you get access to all of our products and services, accounts, other loans, financial advisor, counseling for free, title work, insurance. We do everything in-house, which is one of the things that we're most proud of. So if you start your process with us, we're not sending you off somewhere else. Everything stays here in the Tampa Bay area.
Wow.
It's awesome.
Well, we're going to take a quick break, but I have a curveball question to follow it up.
Okay.
I might have to tease you, though, so I don't throw it off on air, but let's take a quick break.
Awesome.
Consumer Quarterback with Alex Lima, the Black Belt.
That's
Mark
it.
Haye.
Check us out, consumerqb.com.
This is Work Done, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
Welcome back. Mark Haye here again and talking to GTE and an unbelievable opportunity. And I'm just going to throw a curveball at you guys and kind of prepped you, but you gave me an answer. I think that people need to hear it. We get a lot of traveling nurses down here in Florida, and Florida has no state income tax. So if you're traveling from, like, say, New York or California that has 11 or 13% state income tax, and you say, if you made a primary residence here in Florida and you would eliminate that tax, that's something you guys would cover and handle and help? Or is
Yeah.
that...
Yeah. So, I mean, imagine that. You go from no state income tax. That's a huge savings. And then now you're saving money from being a credit union, having the better rates, and then not having mortgage insurance and not having to put money down. It's just savings all around. But what we're looking for is, yes, just to make sure that it's their primary residence, that they're going to come home to this property. They're going to homestead this property. They're going to make it their home. Yeah, you might be out of the state for a month or two or however long for traveling, but this is your home. And this is where you come home to. So that's what we're looking for.
Well, then why would GTE do the risk? Why take no money down and why take no insurance on the mortgage? Like, why would they take the risk?
I mean, it is a risk that we are taking on, but we do it to service our community. So we're looking at these specific professions, and they're ones that are needed in the community. And so these professions, most of them are pretty much guaranteed. I mean, we need nurses, we need pharmacists, we need these professions to make the world go round, right? And so being that they're pretty secure in their job usually, and so
we can argue that on paper, people in those professions tend to be more quote unquote responsible. You know, at least Monday through Friday responsible, right? Yeah, you know, so it's a risk to an extent, but at the same time, like, they don't want to do anything to lose their license and look bad as well, because there's some stuff that can ding you and ding your professional license.
Sure.
You know? So
yeah. Exactly. So then that's why we handpicked, did a lot of studies in these professions to decide which ones we're going to go through. And so, yeah, ultimately it's just to service the community and strategically help those that help us.
Do you guys do something too for, like, teachers, firemen, cops too as well? Because they're always trying to find homes, but it's really hard for them to find homes. The income's not there. Down payment's late too much. You know, so do you guys anything like that for them? Because I know that would be unbelievable opportunity for.
Right. Yeah. And I am a cop's wife, so I speak from that too.
Thank you.
So you're welcome.
For your service here in the Tampa Bay area.
Yes. Yep. And so so we do. I love to service them too, as they're all family. But we have an amazing product. It's can finance in the down payment and the closing cost all into a mortgage to help them not come to closing with any funds.
Wow. So they can still come to with no money down, just wrapped into the mortgage.
Right. So it's a totally different product.
Wow.
And it is open to the community. But it's a second mortgage for 15 years, and it just covers that down payment and closing costs. And potentially they might want to come with some money and say, hey, I've saved up $5,000. Can I put that toward it so that way my payment's a little bit cheaper? Sure. So there's a lot of wiggle room with that product as far as it doesn't have to be everything. It could be some, or maybe they don't qualify for the full thing because debt to income might be tight, so they come with some. But it is nice to be able to, if they have that money saved up, they don't want to tap into it, they can use that product
absolutely.
for that. So
I have a question on that. It's all first time home buyer? Let's say somebody purchased a home and then they become one of these first responders or a medical professional, and then they want to come in and they want to refi. Is there any programs that offer on a refi, or it has to be with your initial purchase?
Yeah, there isn't anything as far as specialty for refinance, because we are all about just getting people
Getting
into
in the
homes.
home.
We want
Sure.
home ownership
That's
is
fair.
what we're really trying to go for. Refinances, we do cash out refinances. We do rate and term refinances, and our rates, again, we shop the market, make sure we stay very competitive. So it is nice in that aspect. Also, being a credit union, we do get favorable pricing when it comes to mortgage insurance. So if they do need mortgage insurance for, let's just say, our product that we finance in the down payment and the closing cost, their mortgage insurance is cheaper because we are a credit union. So
Nice.
we do get favorable pricing as far as the mortgage insurance, and then also the rates as well. So there's a lot of benefits for it, but we're focused on getting that purchase market, getting everyone into home ownership.
And for those first responders, if they're listening and are considering home ownership, one of the things I've seen Kim and her team do is a lot of those first responders do a lot of off-duty shifts or whatnot that reports income a little bit differently.
Yeah.
So if you fall in that category and are considering wanting to buy a home, the sooner you have a conversation with Kim or someone on the team, the better. This way they can help give some guidance on, how to report that stuff and how to make it work in your favor.
Right, exactly.
And what's typically how to qualify? Credit score, how many years of tax returns? Like, what are you guys looking for?
Yeah, so if you're a W-2 employee, we need last 2 years W-2s. So we need your last 2 pay stubs typically. Self-employed, last 2 years of tax returns. So the situations could be different just depending on what kind of income that you may have. Maybe you have some, commission income. We want to see your last pay stub of the year just to confirm that it's on track for the same. So there's all kinds of different qualification, but we don't have any of our products. We don't have an income cap. So you make more money, that's great. We don't limit you. Oh, you don't qualify now because you make too much money.
Wow.
So that part is nice too.
Wow. That's a phenomenal program. You have nothing like that for rentals, right? For investment properties?
No,
He's
no.
trying. Mark's trying. There's got to be one
There's
program
gotta be
at
something out
GTE
there.
Financial.
I know
There
you
go.
have those investments. I've listened to that before too. So
Yeah. Wow. That's awesome. Certainly if you're looking for a primary and you're in that medical profession. I work with a lot of people in the medical profession, and just knowing that helps.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Obviously you need to call these people because no money down is a no-brainer.
right, save that extra money a month and then come see you and get some savings done.
No, that's
So-
awesome. Awesome. How long you guys been working with the GTE?
So I've been there 10 years, and
I've been there for a combination of 16.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Between the two of you, 26 years there, huh?
Yes.
Good for you guys.
Yep.
So you guys must love the company.
yeah, 100%. And I don't want to leave the medical professional topic without mentioning one last thing that's probably on a lot of the listeners' minds when it comes to get that license comes a lot of schooling and a lot of student debt,
No
right?
doubt.
And if Kim can touch on that a little bit and how we treat those.
Yeah, and in some cases on that program, we do allow to exclude the student loan debt from their debt to income to help them qualify. So
Wow.
it is a great benefit. So
Why do you guys do that?
we know that they're going to be ones to pay it back. They're not going to be ones to default on their student loans, and we do want to help them again get into home ownership and have that dream home. So it's again a risk that we're willing to take on due to their professions that we've hand selected. But
Can
Yeah,
you
it's a great
wrap the
benefit.
loan into the mortgage? Can you take the student loan and wrap it in the mortgage?
Well, when you do a refi, if you want it to do that.
Yeah, there you go. No money down. Get the loan back in there and consolidate it. Because I'm sure the student loan might be more expensive than the mortgage.
Than the house sometimes. Yeah,
Sometimes.
sometimes I've seen it that way, unfortunately. So having that benefit of excluding it is huge.
Yeah, that's crazy. So you guys exclude student loans, no money down, medical profession, no mortgage insurance, and you just got to buy a house primary in Florida.
Right.
If our listeners haven't picked up the phone and started dialing right now to call you guys, what is wrong with them?
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
I'm telling you, it's my favorite. I mean, I had, I'm working with somebody right now that they were with another lender, and that other lender said, oh, you need to wait until you start your job. They didn't start their job they're not starting their job until June. So she's like, I'm going to be without a house. Wow. You know, so she came to me. I saved her $275 a month. And because we didn't have that.
That's huge
insurance.
Nowadays. $275 might not sound like a lot, but per month that adds up.
$3,600 a year.
That adds up.
It's huge. And then she was paying $4,000 for her rate to buy it down to the same rate that we were giving her at par.
That's
no
excellent.
Pricing. So it was a no-brainer for her, and she can move into her house before she even starts her job. She's already under contract, so yeah, it's amazing.
And it's 15-year, 30-year, everything normal, all the same.
She's doing a 30-year. Yep.
Yeah.
So.
Awesome. Please tell our listeners how do they get a hold of you? We got about a minute left, and we want to make sure they can reach you guys. All these teasers. We want to call you. How do we call you? How do we get a hold of you?
Right away. Yeah. So it's to reach me. It's 727-808-3457. That's 727-808-3457.
Yeah. Awesome. Do you guys have a website at all they can go to and check all this out with information on it?
So gtefinancial.org, and we have our home loan page on there, and we just ask your listeners to give us a chance. Give us a chance to see what we can do for you.
We got nothing to lose, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I appreciate you guys coming in. That was very interesting.
Thank you,
and I
guys.
certainly will be spreading the word when I meet with my medical clients, because I wish I could do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then please, as soon as you come up with a renters program, you got to call Mark.
We need something for an investment properties. All right.
We do them. It's just not as good of benefits.
I get it.
It's a different work. Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, I appreciate you guys taking the time coming in. It's
Thank you guys for having us.
Very
We
nice
appreciate
having
it.
you. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
All right, coming back. We got Alex Black Belt Lima going to give us some more real estate, and then we'll be right back.
Yeah, we also got Fred Muth, Tampa Screens and Aluminum, coming on the show, the Tin Man himself. We had a good time over at Hours Creole, which GTA made a presence over there. I will have to say, if you ever get a chance, you have to see Kim's business card that she drops when you go to outings and company gatherings together. It is the best I've ever seen. So stay tuned. We'll be right back here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Don't touch that dial, consumerqb.com.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone. You've been listening to the phenomenal Brandon Rhymes, the Consumer Quarterback Show.
Welcome back. Brandon Rhymes is on vacation. Mark Haye here from 21st Century Financial Group, filling in with Alex Black Belt Lima, who has still yet to have a fight so I can go watch him. I don't even know if he fights. Do you actually fight?
It's been a while, man. I haven't been able to play punch face since like 2019 because we had the lockdowns, and then I blew out my arm. So there was a whole while that I blew out my arm, but
I'm looking forward to it.
It's coming, man. It's coming. I'm not done with the game yet. The game might be done with me, but I'm not done with it.
That's right.
So
I like hearing that. No, but go ahead. She has a real estate properties I think you wanted to put up there on the screen.
We do. We always love to feature properties available from Brandon and Lindsay, the Platinum MVP team over at Keller Williams. For those that don't know, Brandon and Lindsay run the best real estate team here in the state of Florida. We're actually branching outside of Florida a little bit too, but they'll tell you more about that next time they're in town, because right now they are kicking it, and I believe the Grand Cayman. So shame on them. I'm sure they're miserable out there, than the Grand Cayman and the beach and stuff like that. But so let's check it out. Speaking of paradise here in Florida, though, we have 18522 Gulf Boulevard, 18522 Gulf Boulevard, Unit F in Indian Shores, Florida. Talking about your own little piece of paradise here. It's a 3-bedroom, 3-bath, just under 2,000 square feet, beachfront condo in Indian Shores. Private 2-car parking area, upgraded kitchen. I mean, everything is upgraded. If you guys see the pictures over at platinummvp.com, you'll see that this place was done right. Upgraded kitchen, countertops, mosaic backsplash, beautifully engineered cherry hardwood floors. It's got 3 balconies providing a lovely view. Spacious master bathroom in the bedroom there. It's affordable insurance, which is pretty crazy, and then the low HOA fees on this one is pretty crazy. I think Brandon said it's something like $200 or $205 a month or something like that, which is absolutely nuts for a property of this nature. So check it out, 18522 Gulf Boulevard, Unit F in Indian Shores, Florida, at PlatinumMVPteam.com. PlatinumCoastalElite.com is where you'll see all the properties available. All right, then we also have 2845 17th Avenue North in good old St. Petersburg. This is a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, just under 700 square feet. Perfect starter home. I mean, this is well done. You can tell this was completely decked out and looks like they gutted it and totally redid the floors and walls and everything. It is beautiful. 2-bedroom, 1-bath, just under 700 square feet. Perfect starter home. Updated kitchen, large backyard for all those cookouts here in Florida. North Kenwood area is where it's located, which is only minutes to downtown St. Pete. And Mark, you know, there's a lot of good food, a lot of great things to do in downtown St. Pete. You can check out 2845 17th Avenue North in St. Pete, Florida at PlatinumCoastalElite.com. That's PlatinumCoastalElite.com.
Thank you very much. And we have Fred from Tampa Screens Aluminum on the air today, and he's by phone, not in person, by phone, because he's out there busting it. But go ahead, Fred, take it from there. Tell us a little about what you do and what's going on out there.
Well, you just hit it on the head. I'm out here busting it.
That's right.
That's it. We're a full service screen enclosure company, aluminum contractor. The majority of the work that I sell has been patio rooms and pool enclosures. Of course, we do some carports. We do a lot of commercial work as well. You ride by these enterprise rent-a-car facilities, and if you look in the back, the wash facility is covered by the aluminum canopy. We do a lot of them. We do a lot of them for enterprise. I've been at this since 1992. Geez, I just realized that's a long time. Maybe I should be talking to you about tax planning and retirement.
Can you believe it's 32 years ago?
Yeah, it flew by. So I hope the next 32 don't fly as fast as the last 32.
Yeah, you're not kidding. Well, speaking of old, I understand that you're interested in old muscle cars.
Oh, yeah, it's in my blood. I was a young kid, and my father, he was an aircraft mechanic, and he couldn't keep his hands off the cars. And, I got into it when I was about 14, and, I've been at it ever since. What's amazing is I still associate and communicate with a lot of my friends that I was in grade school with in Philadelphia. That's where I went to school. That's where I was born and raised. There's about
home of Rocky Balboa.
Rocky Balboa, yeah. As a matter of fact, where he is on the steps there, we used to park cars at that facility as young kids, and we would run up and down them steps long before Rocky ever did it.
Do you have an old car?
Yeah, I got a couple old Camaros. But what's amazing is these guys that I grew up with, every one of them has something or more than one. One guy's got about 12 of them, and he's got a barn up there, Yeah, something gets in your blood, and it's hard to get rid of. It's a lot of fun. You go back to the days when, obviously they burned leaded gas back then and made everybody sick, of course. But the power was there, and the fun, the sound was there. And I'm not a real power-hungry guy. I'm more of a classic guy, and I got a couple old Camaros that are built back to stock. One is all original, and the other one was 100% restored. But it's the way they came from the factory, and that's what I like.
What year you got your Camaros?
First, I got the first year, '67 Rally Sport Super Sport convertible car. That's sort of unusual. Bought that actually got that in 1981. Bought that in Florida, and I did a restoration. It was about 4.5 years to restore it, and I did everything right. I didn't cut any corners with it. So I take that to a lot of shows. I get a lot of trophies. I got so many trophies I stopped accepting. If I get a trophy now, I just give it to somebody else at the shows. I just don't have the room for all these trophies.
Yeah.
And then I have an 81 Z28, which is unusual as well because it was built for the Canadian market. And Chevrolet had this different market for Canada where they didn't have the emission controls, and a lot of stuff was not on the car that the American cars had, and it was the only year that you could get a 350 4-speed by the Canadian market only. So it's an unusual car. The car was in a museum for most of its life, and it's very much original. So I win a lot of trophies with that too.
Well, that's awesome. I got a '67 Chevelle, so we're gonna have to meet up someday and go show off the cars.
Wow, absolutely. Is it original car?
Yeah, it's original. I mean, it was original. I bought it from original owner. Lady had it in a barn up in Ohio, and she was the original owner, and it sat there. And so it took me about 3.5, 4 years to restore it, and now it just kind of sits in my garage. But it's the old block body before they came out with the famous, Chevelle bodies, and so I love it. But we'll have to get together and certainly do that. But coming back to your business, I'm sorry to get off track there, but back to your business. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, that's okay. The cars are interesting. I could talk screen enclosures all day long and probably put a lot of people to sleep, but I don't want to do that. So we could interject with the cars at any time, But with the screen enclosure business, since it's a consumer show, I like people to realize that there's a lot of different options in today's world than there was, say, 20, 25 years ago. And one of the big options today is on a pool cage where you can go panoramic view. You can open it up all the way around as opposed to having a lot of uprights and a chair rail, things to block your view. We do a lot of them right now where, the property basically has a nice backdrop to it on a golf course, on a lake or whatever. And I always talk about this one I did down here in Riverview. It was 75 feet long, and it had 10 panels on the rear, and now it's 75 feet long. And it's got 3 open panels on the rear, so the homeowner can see the river. It's a much better way to open it up. I'm probably taking 10 to 15 leads a month right now on just replacing older cages with a panoramic view and enclosure.
Well, Fred, not to interrupt you though, but when you say you put a cage up, right? The old cage screens around a pool, right?
Yes.
You can open that up and get rid of the screens like one of those doors that open up on patios, and all you see is the world, or do you still see a screen?
No, you still see the screen. Thanks for making me clarify that. When I say open it up, because if you're familiar with the cages, like say you're going across 40 feet or something on the 40 by 25, like it's a rectangle. On a 40, you're going to have 5 panels on the rear. And typically you have a chair rail that goes across at 36 inches high. So your rear view is blocked. If you try to look out the back of that cage, you can't see much out the back other than the uprights and the chair rails. In today's world, if you wanted to, you could open that entire thing up to 40 feet without the chair rails and the uprights.
Wow.
Okay, but obviously it would have to be. It's a big 40-foot screen panel is what I'm saying, and that's the way it's gone in this industry, and it really does look a lot nicer. And where we live, we don't have a beautiful backdrop. We got a nice backdrop. We don't have a pool. We got a very, very big screen room. And quite often I think about it, should I make the change? Because it's such an attractive appearance to go that route with your enclosure.
Well, if you go that big of a screen, what happens if it gets ripped, damaged, wind comes through there? Do you guys have any kind of maintenance? Like what happens on that?
No, it has to be replaced. They use a different fabric on the panoramic views. They use what's called a poly fabric, and it has a lot of give to it. It stretches. Mm-hmm. Part of the reason why they use that poly fabric is since the aluminum expands and contracts in the heat, obviously the metal would move as it's expanding and contracting, and the poly fabric with the give allows for the moving metal. On a big panel. Whereas if you have the smaller panels, say up to maybe 80 or 90 square foot per panel, the movement of the aluminum is much less, so you don't need that poly fabric. So that's a great question. And when I do the proposition on an enclosure, I significantly cover that. Some people will want different types of fabric because I'm the third or fourth guy in the door to do the quote, and by that time they've heard about all different types of fabrics. And basically, I tell people that the aluminum industry is commission driven. If I can sell you something that you really don't need, I'm going to make more money, but I can't do that. I just don't feel right about that. So I keep it as brief as I can. And I keep it down to the fabric that is going to work the best for the customer.
And then if you say, all right, I want you to come over and do my pool, are you in charge of the whole project, or do we have to talk to somebody else? Like, are you the quarterback?
No. I kick it off, and then basically by the time the paperwork gets to the office, my job is done until an issue comes up. And if there's ever a question or an issue that comes along, I'm the guy right in the middle, and that's where I want to be. The office personnel in our company is my hat goes off to them. It's a very, very well-oiled machine, and I can say that because that makes my job easier as a guy in sales. Once I get it to them, they take it from there. They arrange for all the installation, permitting, etc.
Yeah.
By the time it gets to them, all of my paperwork is completed so that they can just proceed. And I still take calls throughout the process on timing, which I'm fine. Customer can call me anytime. I tell them that going into it.
Yeah.
Call me. If I can't give you an answer, I won't give you an answer. But I give them the best answer I can at that time. And generally, most of the people will call after 4, 5, 6 weeks. How's it going? What's the process? And unfortunately, permitting with engineering and everything can take anywhere from 4 to 12 weeks, depending on where you're located.
Wow.
And that's a long time. When I got into this business, it was 3 to 4 days. You got a permit. 3 days later, the concrete was poured. 2 days later, the thing was up. And everybody's happy in about 10 to 12 days, but them days are gone.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we got to take a quick break here, Fred. When we come back, I got a couple more questions for you I want to ask on it because you're leading me down a path. I think you're just making more and more questions. So we'll come back with Fred here and the black belt Liam over here. Mark Haye.
Check us out, consumerqb.com.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show.
Hey, welcome back. Mark Haye filling in for Brandon Rhymes, and we're talking to Fred Muth here about screen and aluminum, and I had a question for you, Fred, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, so financing. Do you guys do your own financing if someone wants to do something like this?
We have a finance company. We recently signed up with them, and it's to the point now where I think it's myself and about 4 other people making sales. We all need some amount of training with this finance company. We haven't gotten around to that point yet. And, are we rock solid with this company? I don't know. I don't know enough about it. We're trying to put some time together where we can all sit down and be educated on how to write the contract, et cetera. In the past, I've sold financing, I've been in this business a long time. I sold financing for another company. And there's a certain amount of paperwork involved, and you have to make sure that the I's are dotted correctly and the T's are crossed correctly. So I'm assuming with your business, that's something you may be able to offer as well. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, we always try to finance anything we possibly can and leverage that, instead of using our cash or investments. That's what I was asking. I'm ignorant to even know how much it would cost to even put a screen or one of those larger screens into a pool or a larger pool. I don't know if you're able to tell us what does it cost? Like, what does it cost the consumer to do something like that?
Yeah, I mean, the prices stagger from high to low, depending on the size, what the back of the house looks like. Let's say that the foundation's already there, and they want to do, for example, a 40 by 30 cookie cutter. They want to do pano view on that. They're probably in the 25 to 30,000 range. If they want to do standard installation without pano view, they might be around the 15 to 20 range. We just completed a very large job in South Tampa, 90 by 40 freestanding, and it was six figures.
Wow.
And it was not a 2-story, but a huge cage. But, there was a lot of pano view on it. So the numbers are all over the place depending on size. And the 2 stories obviously drive the cost up significantly. I quoted several 2 stories that they still have not commenced yet, but I'm sure I'm going to get them. But they were close to 6 figures. And, that all has to do with the way the back of the house is set up and the height and how far will you project, and of course, whether you want pano view or not. So the numbers can stagger anywhere from 15 to 100,000, depending on size.
And do clients, do they get like a 1 year, 2 year, like if anything breaks kind of thing, rips, or replaced, or is that?
Yeah, we offer 1 year material and workmanship, and that's pretty standard in the industry. There's some newcomers on the block that try to push their service, and they offer 5-year warranty. But they may not even be around in 2 to 3 years. Unfortunately, that's the way it works. I think the majority of our competitors that have been around for quite some time are in the 1 year warranty range. Some of the products themselves, for example, the composite panel roof, which is a 3-inch foam core that's used on the patio rooms. That has, depending on the manufacturer, the majority of the manufacturers offer a 10-year material warranty on that product. It's a good warranty, and it's a great product. 10 years, if something goes wrong with the product in 10 years, it's probably flawed from the beginning. But I sell a lot of that, and I have that product on the back of the house, built in 2009, big, large composite roof panel roof screen room, and there's zero problems with it. So I mean, you can walk on this thing.
Wow.
So like I say, some of the products themselves, they offer their own manufacturer warranty. There's some electric retractable screens that we get involved with from time to time. Depending on the manufacturer, they have their own particular warranty. I'm not very well versed on the retractables at this point. I'm very familiar with some of the retractables that are used commercially, but I'm not real familiar with a lot of the residential products. So,
you mean retractable, meaning you can bring the screen up electronically?
Yes,
Wow.
and they're nice. For example, if the back of the house has an existing lanai that's all masonry uprights, it's nice to put the retractables in. They'll fit right in there very easily. But they're not inexpensive in either. I've seen them go for anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000, per opening. And if you got 5 or 6 openings, if you do the math, it's an expensive proposition.
Hey, Fred, we should probably throw a disclaimer out there that the Consumer Quarterback Show, myself, Mark Haye, and Tampa Screens and Aluminum do not condone nor recommend walking on your screen to see if it makes the standard qualification.
Just because Fred said so, right?
Yeah, that's right. Freddie said so. He said it on the radio. It's true.
No, not the screen. The composite panel roof.
To be specific.
That's the solid roof. If you walk on the screen, you're going to go through. I guarantee it.
Guaranteed. There you go.
There goes the 1-year warranty, right?
Fred, what else are you selling that besides pool? What else are you seeing out there?
Well, we get a lot of call for many different products. We carry both general contractor license as well as residential. And, I get a lot of call for just replacement rooms where, glass windows, this and that and the other. I try to stay away from that because I'm too busy selling, cages and regular patio rooms to get involved with the glass rooms and this and that and the other. But we do sell glass rooms. Our company does the glass rooms.
Wow. So you guys do almost everything.
Yes, we do. And I work with a foundation contractor. He has 3 different companies. His main company is Velocity Construction. I've been working side by side with them since 1996. And they'll take on anything. So if something comes across my plate that needs excessive masonry work, I work with them on that as well.
Wow. Well, that's excellent. Are you in the Tampa area in Pinellas County?
Our company is. We work, we go as far as Lakeland to the east. We go all the way west to the water. We run up as far as Spring Hill. We go down to Sarasota, that area. When the storms hit Fort Myers, we had an obligation to get out there and help out with some of the insurance companies. So we're spread out pretty good. I personally try not to go beyond 4 counties because I would just, run the wheels off my car, basically. There's not enough time to do all that.
No, exactly. Well, we got about a minute and a half left. Fred, if you wanted to add anything or if you want to say anything.
Let people know how to reach you.
Yeah, I tell anybody that's bidding out any project, because I put myself in the position of the homeowner, being a homeowner myself. No matter what it is, screen enclosure, air conditioning, whatever you're going to do, ask a lot of questions. Make sure that you cover the questions going into it. I love when my customers ask me questions. They can be redundant with the questions, and I'm fine with it. That way, on the back end, I hope that there's no surprises that we didn't cover. And there's nothing worse in construction than a big surprise on the back end. So I try to be very informative initially going into it. And then if the customer asks questions that I didn't cover yet, I'm very, very satisfied. That way, I'm eliminating the possibility of a problem on the back end.
That's excellent. Well, how can they reach out to you, Fred? What's their number, website?
Best way is by phone, 813-960-7064. Website, we have taluminum at tampascreens.com. Just pull up, just Google Tampa Screens and Aluminum. It'll come up. You can see all of our products. But once again, 813-960-7064 works very well for us.
Awesome. Fred, it's been a pleasure. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, one question. where in Ohio are you from?
Originally from Toledo, Ohio.
God bless you.
Thank you. 419. All right, we'll see you. Thank you, sir. All right, coming back, we're going to be back with Black Belt Lima, myself, as Brandon Rhymes on vacation, and coming right back.
Yeah. To have a good one, guys, make sure to check us out, www.consumerqb.com. And for all your real estate needs, you want to go to platinumcoastalelite.com. You'll see all the properties available to you from the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams. Once again, Brandon and Lindsay run the best team in Florida, the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams. See all the properties available that we mentioned on the show, or if you're interested in selling, platinumcoastalelite.com. Catch you guys next time.
You've been listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.